What the fuck is going on, everybody? Flicking off. What episode is this again? This is...
I think we're at 17.
17, baby.
17.
I'm sorry, it's a little early in the morning. We don't typically record at this time. Usually it's in the afternoon. I'm sorry I look like I got attacked by a bear. I did not get attacked by a bear. I wear a mask when I sleep, and it messed up this part of my face. But yeah, fuck all that shit. Flicking off, baby. Episode 17. We are linking the movie in time to the movie Trouble with the Curve, baby. Trouble with the Curve, another sports movie starring Clint Eastwood, Amy Adams, Justin Timberlake, which is our link from In Time to this one.
Yeah.
I kind of told everyone the fucking link last episode. Nobody's guessed it, and it makes me sad.
There's still a couple days. The view count's going up. It could happen. We
I
don't
am
know.
a little happy to see that In Time has surpassed 1917, but that also reminds me of just how little people
you gotta be fucking kidding
didn't,
me.
or how
You
much
gotta be
people
kidding
didn't
me.
watch 1917. That's all depressing. Justin Timberlake was in this movie, guys. Not only that, Clint Eastwood. It was directed by
Robert Lorenz. We got the
Robert
directorial debut
Lorenz.
of Robert Lorenz and also the writing debut of Randy Brown. And this came out in 2012.
2012.
Yeah.
Robert Lorenz, he's done some good stuff. I mean,
well, he was a frequent collaborator with Clint Eastwood. He worked with Clint on a lot of his own films. He was a producer, and also he was a second unit director on a lot of films. But just some of his producer credits, I mean, Mystic River, $1 Million Baby, Flags of Our Fathers, Gran Torino. I think
American Sniper. I mean, dude.
I think that was another reason I thought this would be better. You know, I mean, we talked a little bit before. You love this movie. This is one of your favorite sports movies. For me, it wasn't like,
it's one of my favorite movies,
wasn't
period.
like
I mean,
a horrible
I just love
movie,
this
but it was definitely a movie that by the end of it, I was like, I probably won't be revisiting this ever.
Right. Jacob, Jacob's you're a tough cookie to crack. You and Amy. I mean, because this movie is just, I get it though. Like, you don't like the cheesy drama. I mean, it's just like there's somebody for
it really
every
depends.
movie.
Like, there's, I mean,
well, give me one cheesy. Well, let's get into it.
Okay, here's a good example.
No, hold on. Let's explain the movie real quick. Explain the movie quick. So,
let's get into
cheesy drama, guys. It's a sports movie. It's basically about a very old baseball scout who is a renowned scout in the Major League Baseball world. He, in the movie, founded Chipper Jones and a lot of other great and late old baseball time, all-stars. And that's pretty much the synopsis of it. Is he has a daughter and he's losing his eyesight, and the family finds out, so to speak, and she goes to check on him while he is scouting potentially the next big thing in baseball. And that's the backdrop. Justin Timberlake plays a scout for the Red Sox. Clint Eastwood plays a scout for the Braves. Amy Adams is his daughter, and she's beautiful. And that's pretty much it. Like, there's just drama around, the father and daughter's relationship. And then there's also drama around him picking this player for the Atlanta Braves. So I don't think I'm missing anything, really.
No,
I mean,
I think the only other thing I'd mention is like the great supporting cast you have like in the baseball organization. You got John Goodman, you got Matthew Lillard, and you got Robert Patrick as their boss. Heading up the organization.
Don't get any better than that, if you ask me.
Yeah, so
but it makes sense, because I mean, Clint Eastwood is one of these guys in Hollywood that, like, he comes with the whole team. Like, it's not just Clint Eastwood, it's Clint Eastwood and everyone else, you know? I mean, it's just
Yes.
like any other big actor in Hollywood. They usually are doing movies with the same actors, you know, or, you know, they'll be in the background, same people.
Well,
But yeah.
speaking on that, like Clint Eastwood apparently like has a company, I think it's called like Malpaso Company, that is like the company he uses for a lot of his films, where he uses a lot of the same crew and stuff.
Oh, wow.
And, you know, since this guy had been a producer on a lot of Clint's films, he used a lot of that same crew. Uh, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
they had the DP, production designer, costume designer, and location manager were all people who'd worked with Clint before. And I think this movie in general has like, for lack of a better word, like a knockoff Clint Eastwood kind of feel, like to the movie, like to a movie he would direct. Like it's
Right.
very close to something he
It
would direct,
really
but it's
is.
not quite there. Like it's just a little bit
That
not
is something I
pushed to
wrote
that
down.
edge.
I've
Um,
I will say this, I always thought Clint Eastwood directed this movie
yeah.
until I went and looked back and saw, like, oh shit, he didn't. He was just
Well,
an
and when you
actor.
mentioned it and you said, "Oh, we're gonna do that Clint Eastwood movie, Trouble with the Curve," when I looked it up, just seeing the poster for it and stuff, I just assumed he would have directed it because he
Right.
had been directing most of the movies that he was in at that period, you know?
Yeah, I'd say he's
So,
directed more than he's been in at this point now.
I mean, at least in
Probably like,
in
yeah,
modern times, you know, probably post millennium. Yeah, you're probably
right.
right for sure.
Not in the beginning, in the early days. I just
Yeah,
mean, like,
exactly.
either that or it's a tie, but it is a drama, and it is. I don't. I want to say sports drama, but
Yeah. See, it is, but like I wrote, like at the heart of this movie, I really do think it's a movie about aging. Like you know, and it's funny because I think the director even, you know, I wrote it somewhere in my notes here, or the writer, Randy Brown, said, you know, Gus is a crotchety old guy, you know, and he's watching young blood come in and new technology, and it's a changing world, and this happens in lots of different, you know, careers and places in life, and this was like a way to tell that kind of story. And that's sort of how I did see it, a lot, you know, because
I can
the
agree with
family's got
that.
to
I'm not
deal with,
gonna.
you know, the old man, and how to deal with, can he continue to do this, is he going to be able to do it, like should he do it,
It's
like
about life for sure.
yeah,
Like, it. It was cool to see, like, yes, he can do it. At the end, it was like, oh, the dude still got it. Like,
yeah.
even at this age, um, it is a little over the top for the audience. As far as emotional drama, it is a movie, so they do take it a little far, or they go the extra mile for the emotional aspect of it. And that sometimes comes off as cheesy in a lot of these movies that are like this, even without the sports. So, but yeah, I love this movie. I had to pick it just because Jacob said he had never seen it, and that's really hard,
Well, I just
figuring
want to
out.
say this. You know, I watched our end time episode. There was a couple times where you challenged me with a couple questions. So I got to challenge you, dude. Do you really think that Justin Timberlake's acting is better in this than it is in End Time?
I do.
After rewatching them back to back like
I
this.
do, and yes, I
You
do.
do. Okay.
I think
I
Justin
thought you would say
Timberlake
that, but I just don't. I'm like,
I
there's
think
no
Justin
way.
Timberlake sailed on this role as opposed to the gunman who gets a
Some of
poor
his, I know
ghetto
that it's
boy.
not his writing, I know it's not his dialogue, he's just playing a character, right? But some of
Right.
his pickup lines and the way it was trying to like court Amy Adams and stuff.
I gotta push back on that because I thought that shit was good. Like
some of the announcing stuff, like at the kids' games and stuff, was
that
a little
beginning scene
and in the
was
restaurant, and people clap like after he did the announcing thing in the restaurant. Like, who in the restaurant is clapping? They're like trying to eat their food. They're not clapping for this shit. Like,
no, I will say the announcing part was like what we just said. It's a little over the top for the emotional aspect. They're trying to get the audience to relate to the character. But when he was courting Amy Adams, I mean, come on, dude. Like when they were on the fence and she was watching the guy.
The number of shots in this movie of a guy looking at Amy Adams' ass is like it's immense. It's like it's a lot of shots.
That's another reason I love this movie. I got a huge crush on this woman. I've been into this woman for a long time. I mean, just like anybody else, you got an actress in Hollywood you love seeing. And not only that, dude, she is a phenomenal actor. Actress.
Yeah. I mean,
and not only that,
we talked right before we started the episode, and we both agreed she was the best in this movie.
She was the best,
hands down.
What I love about Amy and her acting is even when she's not saying a line, even when it's like a cut scene, like when she was on the laptop after they got in an argument at the bar, and then her father, Clint Eastwood, comes back and trips, like. The way she looks concerned, the way she's typing, it's all very real, and it's phenomenal acting. Not too many people can pull that shit off. Some actors even that we love and are very popular, everyone loves and knows, they don't even do scenes like that because they're not good at it. They're not good at like pretending to really be working or to really, a big thing about Kevin Costner. Because I went on and watched the other baseball movie after this one yesterday. I watched I couldn't even remember the title.
But not Field of Dreams, because I said that
not Field of
last time
Dreams,
and you were like,
and it's not a
one.
perfect game. It's called For the Love of the Game, I think is what it's called. But even in that, he does a lot of scenes where he's on the phone. So I started thinking, I was like, man, Kevin Costner really can fake a fucking phone call. Like it sounds so legit when he's on the phone. And I actually looked it up. Like that's one of his things. Like that's something that an actor or actress has not a hard time, but it's hard for anyone to pull that off and make it seem legit.
Yeah. And I'll bring up a movie we've brought up a billion times, but Uncut Gems, right? I was watching some of the special features for that, and they were praising like Kevin Garnett's performance, and like Kevin Garnett is amazing in this movie, right? He's amazing.
You would have never thought,
but he said, "I'm just really good at taking direction." He said, "I'm not a good actor. I'm just really good at taking direction." You're talking about people who are really good actors, like people who act, and it's like it's their basketball. They've studied this shit. They do it. You know what I mean? They're on another level. Like it doesn't take anything away from a guy like Kevin Garnett's performance in that movie, right? But you're not going to stick him in, some other movie and he's going to be able to pull it off. He's playing a basketball player. He said in the special features, one of the things he said was he was able to do it because the character was so close to him. It was him. You know what I mean? It's him. So he just tried to be him.
Speaking of Uncut Gems, I did purchase and watch last night one of my hype trains, the Smashing Machine.
Oh yeah, what'd you think?
I liked it. I thought it was The Rock, man. He really did good in this movie. His acting is probably the best performance I've seen him give as far as like portraying someone else. And the direction, again, I love the flow of it. The Safdie brothers are amazing. I know it was just one brother that did this one, and like you said, they agreed to do two separate movies, and one of them is the one that's coming out this Christmas, Marty Supreme, and then it was this one. And
Yeah.
it's kind of got the same vibe, like the tone of it. They use like those old songs, and I loved it. I thought that was really cool. The editing and the way he uses camera angles when they're walking out of stores or they're walking into someplace, it's really cool. I think he's got a vision that's just, it's his own. So
Yeah.
shout out to the Safdie brothers, man. They're phenomenal. I mean, and I love that I spent $24 on this movie? No. I would have much rather waited. It wasn't like one of these movies that'll change your life, but if you're into film and you're into like acting and stuff, I thought it was really good. But
Yeah.
and it's a crazy story kind of, but
Yeah.
we're getting off topic now. But yeah, like Amy Adams was
So,
phenomenal. She carried this film for sure.
I think the sports aspects of this film, like, I get it. It's about a scout, right? You got to have the sports there. But to me, this doesn't feel like a sports movie, even
I can
though
agree
parts
with
of
that.
the climax are sports related. And you're like, I didn't feel like the sports scenes, like in some movies, they're like trying to like be like the action parts of the movie where the pace picks up. And like this movie wasn't really trying to do that, or if they were trying to do it, it didn't really work for me.
Yeah.
Also, there's like a couple times where they're like in a movie where the director's trying to show the lay person something they don't understand, right? So they're talking about different kinds of pitches and how people hold the bat and, different things, right? And
Yeah.
so when they're showing the action, like there was twice near the end where the guy's supposed to be throwing a curveball. That's part of the big thing to show this guy can't hit curveballs. And the ball looks like it just
His
goes in a
hands
straight
drift.
line. You know what I mean? Like it felt like, dude, turn the camera, make a fake curveball or something. Like, I don't know. Just like, you know what I mean? Like, but that was just my personal opinion. It wasn't like, um, it was like I said,
They
it was
could have
all
done better.
shot beautifully. It looked nice. I thought too it was cool. It was like all filmed in Georgia, and a lot of it was meant to take place in North Carolina. And this was in northern Georgia, close to North Carolina line. It looked like it. It felt
It
like it.
did. It did feel like, I was gonna say, like when he drives, they have that scene. He's on the interstate and the hilly mountaintops or the tree mountaintops and stuff.
Yeah.
It made me think of driving to Shelby with my mom back in the day. Like it looked legit as fuck. That's
Yeah.
crazy. I thought it was filmed in North Carolina. So I'm just finding out that it was Georgia, but
It was Georgia, but they said it was like right on the other side of the North Carolina border in Georgia. I think there's a lot of probably
yeah, I don't
tax
think the
credits and
problem
stuff.
with this movie was the look. It looked
No. Mm-mm.
like a cinema. Like
No.
it looked good.
And like I
but
said, it wasn't the cast. I think some of it was the writing they had to work with. And I think some of that I don't want to blame on the writer either. Some of that is like the way a director can have people deliver lines and like what they
yeah,
prefer. You know what I mean? So like in this kind of cases where you don't really enjoy a movie or it's not your favorite, it's hard to say like what went wrong if you're really being honestly critical about it. Like, because the writing is not inherently like horrible.
it's not.
The directing isn't overly horrible, but something for me went off the rails somewhere. Like that's just me
Just
personally. If
well, a lot
to
of
go
people
back to
felt that.
last episode and ratings, you asked me, I would flip flop the rating like you did within time. I would go a 6 for this. It's not
Right.
lower than that. It's decent, but it's not. I know
I
you
love
said you
this.
might go a little higher,
Yeah,
but that's because you like it. So
I love this movie. I've seen it, like, this is probably my 10th or 11th time, and I'm not gonna say I'd give it a 8.
yeah,
Like, it's not one of those for me, but I'd have to give it a 7, maybe a little bit more.
yeah.
So I totally
And
agree.
it's
But look,
sitting at a
what
6.8. So you're just like, I'd nudge it a little bit. I'd
yeah,
nudge it
what you're
right up to
saying
a 7.
essentially though is pretty much what everyone said about this movie. And just for the context, and everybody listening, this movie was considered a flop. I mean, I think they spent like 30 million on it and it only made 34, I think, like all together. I think at the time in the theaters when it had released, like its first month, it was less than what production
Yeah.
cost.
I saw worldwide it ended up grossing like close to like 48 million or something, but still
That's not a
we
lot. I
don't know
mean,
how
yeah,
much they spent on other things. It's the kind of thing where the studio is never going to give them any extra money, right? Because
right.
they're
It
always
could
going to
have,
find another cost of like, oh no,
right.
we did this.
I think it says estimated $30 million budget, but I've read other places where they said 80 million.
Yeah,
So who
we don't
really
really
knows?
know.
Every time you see
Yeah,
an estimated budget, I think like for the sake of studios and failure and
and
success,
it's
the
so
line that they
funny where it
draw.
goes sometimes. To go back to last week's episode again, In Time, we're talking about a $40 million movie.
Right.
This we're talking about a $30 million
60.
movie, if that's
Well, we
correct.
don't know.
Like,
Yeah, like
and look at where did it go? Did it go to just getting to use the baseball stadium, which was like an actual opening night for the Braves, one of the times they shot, and
well, they
but
filmed in a
it's
lot of different baseball parks, I read too. It was like
yeah,
just like not the pro parks, but when they
yeah.
were scouting high school games and stuff. But I bring up the budget to say like what you're saying completely makes sense. I mean, this wasn't received well or not well enough for it to be a 8 or a 9 or a 10 on any level, but um I
Well,
just
what's funny, I said this before the podcast, so I want to say it on here too. Like the I think this movie would have been received better in a different time. If this movie had come out 10 or 15 years earlier, if this movie came out 20 years earlier, if this came out in the early 90s, dude,
oh
this
yeah.
probably would have been a hit. This
Right.
would have been a massive success. It was just a different time.
It's
It
it's
just didn't.
I agree. At 2012, it's a seen it, done it, been there type of feel. I mean, for
Yeah.
sure. I
But
mean,
if it works for you, just like it works for you, I get it.
right.
I get why people
No,
like
yeah,
it.
yeah. I'm not upset. I was a little shocked that you so basically what's happening this episode is you're me and I'm you. So that's pretty much I mean, I will say this, like I know for me the ratings skewed just because I love the movie, but it's also a like another big reason I like it is Clint Eastwood. It isn't just Amy Adams. Like I'm a huge Clint Eastwood fan, and I remember at the time Gran Torino had came out, and I really loved that movie. I thought that movie was like different at the time that it came out. Like no one had done some shit like this before. The story was really original. The acting was kind of like this movie. It wasn't like the best acting you've ever fucking seen in your life, but it was good enough for it to work. And when Gran Torino came out, I remember just like a lot of folks, I'm sure remember Clint Eastwood was saying like this is probably going to be his last film. Like he's quoted for saying that he's going to retire after that film, all types of shit. We now know in 2025 that was a complete and utter load of shit because he's done so many different projects, including this one. So I think for me, the excitement of like just seeing Clint Eastwood's name again at the time when this movie came out, I remember I was deployed when I first saw it, and I bought it in the PX, like in the new movie section, because like I said, you would go into these PXs and you would go into like a Best Buy even back in the day, and wherever they had the movies, all the new
Yeah.
releases would be at the head of the aisle, and then everything else would be in the aisles. So when I saw Clint Eastwood, I was like, "Ooh, I'm getting that." So and I just loved it ever since. I really
Yeah.
just anything behind the scenes of sports, even though I like there's a ton of other movies that did it way better, like Moneyball. For the love of the game, I think gave it a lot. As far as like being realistic, like the behind the scenes, like those scenes with Matthew Lillard and the other guy's name. Who was the owner that played the owner of the team?
Robert Patrick.
Robert Patrick, yeah.
The guy from Terminator 2.
Those scenes with him and John Goodman, when they're like in the
I thought
office.
Goodman was great, and I thought Robert Patrick was great.
Yeah.
And I love Matthew Lillard, but I didn't think he was great. You know,
well, he plays.
And it's not just because he's a douche, because the kid that's a douche, the baseball player who's a douche,
yeah.
I thought he was great. Actually, I thought like the way that was cast and the way it was done, it was effective. Like Lillard, I just think he came off as a corny douche, and like I don't know, like it
one
just
of my
came
favorite
off as like corny.
One of my favorite douche scenes in the entire film was when the kid Gentry, which he was played. Man, they don't even got his fucking name up here, dude. I cannot believe that.
I think IMDb
huge...
has changed something, because when I went to the cast list for this again, it was a crazy order again.
Yeah, it's like,
and I was just like, you have to filter by popularity now or something. That's must be how they used to have it by default, and it's not anymore. But it just
he's nowhere to be
crazy.
found. I'm trying to see. He was a big part of the movie. The whole movie, in a way, was wrapped around him, and I can't find.
At least half the film, probably. Yeah.
And I can't find it. Bo Gentry. His name is Joe Massingill.
Yeah.
Joe Massingill. He played the kid that all the scouts were watching and thinking was going to be and he plays a douche, like Jacob said. But there's that one scene on the bus where everyone's going back and forth and talking, and he's holding the bat like a fucking guitar or something.
Yes.
And he's like closing his eyes, and he gets frustrated. He's like, guys, shut up. He's like, I'm over here envisioning, okay?
Yeah.
And you're fucking me up. I'm banging chicks. I'm signing endorsement deals. I'm hitting home runs.
Yeah. Dude,
Give
when
me
he
my
said
space. Like, I was like, dude.
When he said that, especially the banging chicks part, it cracked me up, man. Because it's like, you can just imagine
how conceited
this guy,
can somebody be, dog? Like,
yeah.
I will say, sometimes the script flourished in parts like that. I thought that was a really good, it's funny, it's over the top, but it's also kind of realistic for the character and what the audience got up to that point with Bo Gentry. I thought that was a subtle little fucking cherry on top for me. I laugh at that part every time too. There's a lot of funny stuff in this film. I think that's another reason I like it so much. I get why they
put the romance in there, but I don't think this story needs this romance plot between Justin Timberlake and Amy Adams.
It almost makes me feel like Adam. It almost makes me feel like Amy was an NSYNC fan, and she was like, look, if I'm going to do this movie, guys, I know it's not in the script, but there's got to be a part where me and Justin Timberlake are courting one another. Because, I will say, one of the most off-kilter scenes in this film is when they go skinny dipping. That kind of, threw it off for me in a way. It was all right, kind of like what you said with Barney's version. You were like, why do I care? And I got to the point in my mind during that scene, after seeing it 10 or 11 times, I was like, okay, why do I care about this scene? What does this scene really do for the audience? And it only, in my mind, when I think about it, it only adds an extra oomph to when they pick Bo Gentry anyways, after telling, Justin Timberlake's character to pass. But other than that,
my wife was like, this is the second, movie in a row where we get to see a skinny dipping scene with Justin Timberlake.
Oh, yeah.
And I assume from the years they came out, they were made back to back. So both these movies, he made.
Hey, this might be a Justin Timberlake thing, man. He might be a little creep. I'm only going to do it if me and Amy are skinny
trilogy,
dipping.
The skinny dipping Justin Lake trilogy. We got to find the third one, and then we'll have
Oh, we might find the third one, but yeah, okay. I mean, so we're already at the point where it's like Jacob gives it a 6. He'd probably go down from there, and I give it a 7. Probably go up from there. I think for the rest of the time, we're gonna give it a rating now. I mean, we've already done it 2 times in a row, but
I think I'd say, yeah, where I would go from the IMDb rating, whether I would go up or down. Yeah, that
what was
makes
the worst
sense.
part of this movie for you? Like,
I think it was a combination of small things and not like any like massive glaring thing. Like I said, part of it was the romance between Justin and Amy. Another thing that I haven't brought up that I thought was a problem, part of it was, like I said, the sports things that I thought didn't accentuate for the layman, like, oh, here's some sports action, here's a thing happening. Like, it just didn't seem to like do that for me. Uh Also, Clint Eastwood is going blind. He's got blurry vision. They show us like 3 times sort of like a field of blurred vision on the screen.
it
Okay,
wasn't done
cool.
well.
I get that, but
I
none of
agree
the
with that.
times are like at a crucial moment really showing you like, oh damn, this guy
Well,
should
when he
be able to
wrecks,
see the
that's not enough for you when he wrecks?
well, yes, it's funny. I guess that scene didn't
That
hit
was
for
the
me
best
because right
one.
before it happened, my wife was like literally like, "Oh, and now's the scene where he wrecks the car." It's like, and so I thought, sometimes you predict shit like that in a movie and it doesn't happen, right? And
Right.
whatever. So I'm watching, but sure enough, like there's the fucking scene, right? He looks both ways, and Amy Adams is looking at her phone, so she's not like looking for them anyway.
It was
eh,
predictable. I
so what
remember
I wanted was, it's not that this should be different. It just should be used more effectively than it is being used. Like,
it is a
um,
debut, folks. I mean, so that's gonna happen in a debut, I feel like, right? Like, you're not gonna get everything, like you said, in there like it should be. You're not gonna lay out everything, but
I get it, okay. Yes and no. Here's my no on that. And it really, and I don't know, maybe I'm just being overly critical. When I was doing the research and I found out how many of these classics that he had made with Clint Eastwood as a producer, being there on set and being a second unit director on some of them, I'm like, dude, you got to come out of the gate swinging. Like, but I mean, it's got a 6.8 on IMDb. It's
yeah.
got a lot of fans, obviously. So
It
it's
was
not like,
considered a flop, though. So
yeah,
I agree with you, and, like,
but it's just not for me personally. So but to go back to what we were saying, that's where I go no on the director thing. Like I feel like, and I think that's sort of what Studios did too, because he hasn't, like, he directed one other movie, but it wasn't like a film that came out in theaters and stuff. So the studios didn't really feel like they felt
well, there
like,
was
look, this guy's been in the background forever with Clint. We give
look,
him
to
a shot, and this thing didn't really deliver. We're not going to
I
do it again.
agree. I agree
You
with
know?
that part. If he's been behind the scenes as like a second director amongst one of the greatest directors we've probably ever seen. I love Clint Eastwood movies, but yeah, for him to miss on and even to just add on to what you were saying, there's this one scene where Clint Eastwood's character is remembering like the barn where with like his
Yes.
daughter after the bar fight, and his face, what I like when a character like looks directly into the
Yes.
camera,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like it zooms in on that character and it
Yeah.
fades into the dream or the memory. And
Yeah.
dude, the facial expression that this fucking guy went with was like, look, Clint, during this scene, I mean, and he's playing an 80-year-old scout he's like,
Yeah.
for this scene though, I want you to look like you've looked in every Western you've ever done. Like, and he's looking in the camera like this, like,
Yeah.
he's just got that. And I thought that I busted out laughing during this watch through when that scene came on because I just never noticed it until now. I think I was blinded by my love for this movie. But
Well,
stuff like that,
you
when you're
asked me
watching it for like to review it in this light, you're gonna
Yes.
find a lot of stuff like you said that's just it's got to be delivered better. Like fucking.
Well, before I had actually watched it, you had asked me if I like Gran Torino, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I love Gran Torino."
Who doesn't?
And you're like, "I think you'll like this," and I was like, "Okay." So now I watch the movie. It's not one of my favorites, right? But I'm thinking about that, and I'm like, well, basically, Clint plays a similar character as far as like his overall general grumpiness and demeanor, right? Minus the racism, right? And this one doesn't have the racism.
Yeah, it's not.
But it's basically like, yes, the director said, "Hey, play Gran Torino, just don't do the racist stuff," right? And it's some of it is cool, right? Because I like Clint and I like the grumpy old man stuff. Like, some of that's cool, but some of it does feel forced, especially right after Gran Torino. Feels like this your directorial debut. You're coming out. You've worked with this guy a long time.
Maybe he was a little too comfortable,
Yeah.
I mean, after the rewatch, that's the sense I got for a lot of the,
I mean, and like, I'm just gonna say this. You can feel how you feel about it. I love Clint Eastwood to death, but in my honest opinion, in his old age, Clint is not one of the best actors. His skills have definitely fallen off a little bit from where they were.
It's not his skills. It's just like he's old now, so he's
old.
His roles are limited in Hollywood for sure. I mean,
and the way people act over time changes. Like maybe that's part of it too. But I just don't think, like, to me, Gran Torino was the pinnacle. And everything since has been a little rough to watch. I mean, there are some scenes.
You didn't like the Mule?
The Mule, I need to give it a rewatch because Amy didn't like it as much. I liked some of it. I fell asleep and didn't watch the very end the time we watched it, and she didn't like it. But up to that point, I had been liking it. So the Mule, Cry Macho, I didn't like.
I didn't like Cry Macho as much, but it was okay.
But and Cry Macho, I can't remember if it was his acting that I didn't like or just some of the plot seemed a little ridiculous.
Well,
but
he was playing a badass at like 80-some years old, just like you said. So it is hard to watch. I get what you're saying. But in the Mule, he actually plays like it's based on a true story.
Exactly. And the same with Gran Torino. It makes sense. In this movie, it makes sense. Like, this could be an old man, but
if you're a fan of Clint Eastwood, it takes away from the movie. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. It's also like I said, I think it's the fact that this and Gran Torino were back to back. If you had movies in between it where you're not doing this, I think it would have been nice. Like, oh, cool, there's this Gran Torino
something
vibe,
different.
It's
the same old Clint Eastwood. Like,
yeah, it just felt a little, but I think aside from Amy Adams, I think second best performance has got to go to John Goodman in this. I think John Goodman kills it. The way he's sort of trying to coerce Amy Adams' character into going on the road with her father, and the way he takes like a little joy in the fact that they're spending time together, like whenever he's calling and stuff. You can see that in his character and in his facial expressions, and it's not just the dialogue. Like, that's John Goodman actually doing it. That's pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, it,
is there anything else you wanted to bring up about the movie? I mean,
well, I did read this. It's not like sometimes we do these, little factoids. Apparently on the casting list when they were casting this, Amy Adams' role was considered for Sandra Bullock, Amy Adams, and Reese Witherspoon in that order. And Sandra
I didn't know
Bullock
that. Oh,
passed
Sandra Bullock would
because
have
she
made this
was
shit
working
way
on
better.
something else. And
No
so
offense,
Amy
Amy.
was second, right? So if Amy had passed, it would have gone to Reese Witherspoon. But I thought about Sandra Bullock, and I just thought, this is a Sandra Bullock movie. This, there's
that blows
no
my mind.
That would have worked. I mean, what's crazy is, would I be saying the same thing though? Like Sandra, as I did about Amy Adams, would I be like, Sandra Bullock was the best thing about this movie, right?
I wonder if this movie
or
gets
would
a
it have
7
turned
or
it into something else?
no offense to Amy Adams, but when I heard
it could have been more comedy if you had Sandra Bullock. Maybe it could have played the comedy a little bit.
It was a lot of comedy in this movie.
There was, but not really by Amy Adams, but more towards the end, she starts.
No offense to Amy Adams, but when you said Sandra Bullock's name, I'm starting to wonder if it gets a 7 or an 8. I mean, Amy Adams is a phenomenal actress. Don't get me wrong, but Sandra Bullock is one of those like Nicolas Cage's. That's her name carries weight, and a lot more eyeballs go because of that name. So I wonder if what that would have done. I don't know. That is interesting. Fucking A, I didn't know that at all.
Also, the only other thing I had in my notes that I really wanted to mention was there was like close-up shots of Clint Eastwood when he was younger in one of the flashback scenes. And I was like, how the hell did they do that? Because it really did look like young Clint. And I was like, this wasn't no de-aging that good in 2012.
There's a lot of stuff you can do on the editing aspect. I'm even seeing it like that's just easier these days.
Took footage from another movie, from a Clint Eastwood movie that came out in 1982 called Firefox, and they used some of that in the flashback scene. And I thought, well, that works like that because it looked real as hell, like because it's Clint. I mean,
I wanted to just bring up one thing. We were talking about last episode, and I actually spelled the guy's name wrong. I'll probably have to.
Yes, yeah.
So the last episode,
Harlan Eddington,
Ellison.
Edison is what she wrote.
Yeah. But what was his real name?
Ellison. It's Ellison. 2 L's. ELLISON.
What makes it even worse is the guy passed away at like 84, and we're sitting here spelling his name wrong on the podcast. I'll eventually get to it and re-edit it, or I might just leave a comment and leave it there. But just to get back on the shameless Hollywood train and how shameless it is, this movie was sued a year later by a producer named Ryan Brooks, who claimed the movie stole elements from his unproduced script of a movie called Omaha. Older baseball guy plus strained relationship with his daughter. I thought that was I was like, damn, and it just goes back into the note that people have the same ideas sometimes, and they're creatively in tune to the point where like it almost might feel like plagiarism, but it certainly is not. And it has to get proven in court. And I just think it's a stretch when you see something that's similar, even if it's eerily similar, you're like, oh no, I'm suing this guy. Like I got a case here. Like it's just, it makes me sad. It makes my heart break.
Yeah. That's funny. I did not read about that, but yeah. So
there's not too much to read. I don't even think the case got to court. Honestly, I think it was settled, but I guess it's time to get into that motherfucking hype train. Bam, bam, baby, fuck yeah. I got a good one. I got one that I know I'm probably gonna get Jacob hype as fuck for.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want to go first or you want me to go first.
No, either way, I'm pretty excited about mine too. It'd be funny if you picked the same one.
All right, well, I'm going to
so.
get into mine. There's really nothing on
it.
IMDb at the moment, but I was doing some research for Trouble with the Curve, and I had a hype train pick that I wanted to pick, but I was like, nah, it's just not. I'm not that hyped for it. I wanted to read something or see something that made me hyper, and I did. And I think you're gonna love it. I think everyone's gonna love this if you are a Quentin Tarantino fan. Now, Quentin Tarantino is not directing this. This movie is going to be called The Adventures of Cliff Booth, which
Oh yeah, I know about this.
and if you don't know who Cliff Booth is, it's a character played by Brad Pitt in Quentin Tarantino's film called Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. If you're a Quentin Tarantino fan, this movie is one of your favorites, I'm sure. Um, I didn't really love it at first when I first saw it. I even remember telling Jacob, like, it was okay. Like, but I've rewatched it 3 times now, so I've seen it 4 altogether. It is a really good fucking film. And it's just a cool concept. Like Quentin Tarantino got in his fucking bag for this one. And Brad Pitt's character, Cliff Booth, was certainly one of the coolest parts about the movie. And when I saw this, it's basically, it's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood vibes, but it's like just based on this character. They don't really have a whole plot or a synopsis on it. If you're this is literally a Quentin Tarantino draw, but it's directed by David Fincher and it's written by Quentin Tarantino. So even though it probably isn't going to be directed by Quentin, I'm sure Quentin's going to be on set. I'm sure he's going to be a part of it. And I got really excited when I saw it. It's basically a Cliff Booth spinoff of, slash sequel, whatever you want to call it. And it's going to be set in 1977, 8 years after, I don't know what this is saying, Outh, Ouathih.
Oh, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's like the acronym.
That's
so it's
weird.
set
Yeah.
8 years after.
So it's set 8 years after that. It's produced by Plan D, Heyday, Panic Pictures, and Netflix is going to be the distributor. And the budget is somewhere around $200 million. Yeah. So
dude, I'm excited for this. I remember reading like a little article like a month ago or something about Quentin talking about like, there's very few directors he would trust nowadays to direct something he wrote that he like feels special about, and like this was one of them. And he was like, David Fincher can do this.
David Fincher, I think it's gonna be a darker tone with David Fincher on this. I think they're gonna do a lot of like violent stuff like they did in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but they also showed like the big heart of that character too. And that scene where he goes to check in on the guy that was supposedly in real life being taken advantage of by Marilyn
at the
Manson's
ranch.
fucking people in the ranch.
Spawn
What
ranch.
I loved about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was the history was real behind everything that it was being done. And although I wasn't living during that time period, anyone that was remembers the news and how big of a story this was. To incorporate that into a phenomenal script with phenomenal characters. I think, honestly, in that scene where, God, I am the worst with names, Leonardo DiCaprio, when he is doing the bad guy cowboy scene and he throws the girl on, like, because basically this film is about actors. So you're filming a movie of someone filming a movie. And he gives this like phenomenal fucking monologue. And he throws the little girl on the ground and the little girl gets up and she looks at him. She's like, that's some of the best acting I've ever seen in my entire life. And honestly, what makes Quentin Tarantino in that movie so special is I literally said it before that line came out of the girl's mouth, even the first time I saw it. And again, when the first time I saw it, I did not love this movie, but I was like, dude, that's some of the best acting I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. Like, and then the girl says it, and I'm like, dude, that was a cool film. So to see that there's going to be a sequel of one of the coolest characters and one of my favorites, Brad Pitt, I'm fucking super hyped. Gotta hit that fucking train horn for this one more fucking time, baby. Like, super fucking hyped. They don't know
That's
when
a
it's
good
going to
pick.
They
That's a
don't know
good
when it's
pick.
going to come out. There's not a date. There's not a trailer, but there are, Wikipedia, Google, IMDb doesn't have too much on it, but there are a lot of like blogs on Twitter that are talking about this film, and I'm really excited for it. I mean, Jesus,
Well, I think
it's
they wrapped filming on it because I know there were shots of Brad Pitt in the makeup and like people snuck photos off the set and stuff.
well, so I know like they're the plot they don't know specifically, but it is like Clint Booth is going to be like a fixer in Hollywood of problems, which that's fucking epic. That sounds really good because if you haven't seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, guys, go see that movie. I mean, I own the movie now. It is quite literally probably one of my favorite films of all time. Just considering everything that it's just a lot. It's a lot to unpack.
It's really good.
It is really
cool.
good. But yeah, just expect a mix of Hollywood politics, low-level crime, shady producers and actors, like that type of vibe. Like that's what it's gonna be. Tarantino scrapped the movie The Critic, the movie Critic, and he said it started overlapping too much with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So he pivoted the energy into this instead. That's what I read on Twitter from a fan, I think, or somebody, and it like that sounds epic to me. That sounds like this is going to be a really good film. So, it's Tarantino's sandbox, but Fincher's going to be running the game for this one, folks. The Adventures of Cliff Booth, 2026. I think you said it's wrapped, so they're done filming it.
I mean, because it was months ago that they had pictures out, and I can't imagine they're still shooting now, months later.
Well,
so
I hope we get it sooner than later. That's all I'm gonna say, baby. That's my hype train.
I love it. I love it. Well, all right. Mine this week, I've got a little movie called Dead Man's Wire, and it's based on a true story. The IMDb plot is on February 8th, 1977. Tony Charistus, I can't remember how you pronounce his name, entered the office of Richard Hall, president of the Meridian Mortgage Company, and took him hostage with a sawed-off shotgun wired with a dead man's wire from the trigger to Tony's own neck. Now, you got to see this trailer. It looks sick, dude. It looks
really
like
a good movie, yeah.
Sick. The cast, you got Bill Skarsgård. For people who aren't familiar with him, he played Pennywise in It. He's in a little movie called Villains I like. There's a gentleman called Coleman Domingo in this movie who was in Lincoln, Selma, 42. He's a really great actor. Carrie Elwes is in this movie. He was in Princess Bride back in the day, Robin Hood Men in Tights. So I love Carrie Elwes. Dacre Montgomery, who's in Stranger Things and Elvis, and the legendary Al Pacino.
Oh, I like that
this movie as well. So this is the feature film writing debut of Austin Kolodny, but it's directed by another legend, Gus Van Sant.
Oh.
Who's done a lot of stuff, Drugstore Cowboy, My Own Private Idaho, Good Will Hunting, Finding Forrester, Elephant, those are.
I'm really interested in it now.
I mean,
I like 70s pieces too for some reason. I don't know why, but anything based in the 70s, I'm a fan of.
Yeah. For people familiar with like Pacino, a lot of people are saying this looks like it has a real, I think it's Dog Day Afternoon vibe. What's the one where he takes the bank hostage?
It's when he plays a gay there. Then you find out later in the movie, I think that's another another afternoon, Dog Day Afternoon or
yeah.
something.
So
That's
it
the one
looks
where they're
really
gay though, right? Like in
interesting.
the end, you find out like they're in love and that's why they robbed the bank.
Dude, I watched that movie once and it was a long time ago.
And it's a long movie. It's a
Yeah.
long
I
fucking
remember
movie.
when I watched it, I was like, okay, it's good. You know, it was like just one of the classics I had on my list of like, I need to see this one day. And I watched it, but it's never been one I've been like, I got to go back and see it again. Maybe I will one day, but I just haven't. You
Bought
know,
it at
there's
one
still other
point when
classics
I
out
had
there I haven't.
DVDs.
Okay.
It's okay. I mean, it's really long, but the big thing of the movie was finding out that they're in love with one another. I thought that was
Okay.
like the coolest part of the movie.
Yeah.
It was just
Yeah, so
shocking, you know.
that's my hype train. I
It
mean,
looks
Gus
good,
Van
dude.
Sant, and you know, this looks like, you know, he bounces between these like massive Hollywood movies and independent movies that are like ultra low budget kind of movies, and this looks somewhere in between. Um one of the things he's done in the past that I really hope he does in this, it's hard to tell from a trailer, is he'll use real people sometimes to portray characters that are similar to their real life, sort of like what we were talking about with the Safdie brothers and the jewelry thieves.
Yeah.
Like,
Kevin
you
Garnett,
know,
like
he
yeah.
did a book about, I mean, he did a movie about high school shooting, and like he used some real high school kids. Like, he used
Well, that's a
like
little
that weren't actors like at all. Like he did a movie in My Own Private Idaho. He uses like a couple of like uh, he uses a real male prostitute in one scene, like that they went out and found. Like, so that's cool. I think that stuff is
Yeah,
cool when
no,
you're
for sure.
doing
I
stuff
like
like
that
that.
aspect of it too. He did
So
it in The Smashing Machine. I mean, at the end of the movie, they had the actual guy, Mark Kerr. He
yeah,
did like this scene where he's walking out of a grocery store, and it was just like, this is him now. And I thought
yeah.
that was so fucking cool. I like that. And I think his whole idea behind that is this person is actually a basketball player. This person was actually in a school that was being shot up. That's what I want to capture on camera. And what better way to do it than to just put the person in the same space? But that's why I was also like, school shooting. I don't think I'd be asking people of a school
Well, he
shooting to
wasn't
come
acting
back.
victims of a school shooting acting. I'm saying he was using real untrained high school students to act
Oh,
in
but
a
not ones
movie
that were
as
at a
high.
school
No,
shooting.
not victims of
Okay.
a school.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like,
no, no, no.
that's a bit over the top. I don't know if I'd make
Yeah,
somebody relive that experience for the
yeah,
sake of film,
exactly.
but
And the kind of waivers you got to get them to sign for that one. But
right.
yeah,
We will
um,
be giving you zero therapy after this, you know.
yeah. So that's something that I hope is in this movie. We'll see. I mean, Bill Skarsgård alone, some of the stuff he's done. I know I mentioned that movie Villains. It's just like a little kind of horror thriller movie. He's amazing in this movie. Like he's amazing in some of these little roles he's done. I love him to death. So can't wait to see it.
I love Al Pacino too. Man, he's old. He was born in
Yeah.
1940, so he's like 85. Yeah, he's 85 years old, man. That's wild.
That is wild.
That's crazy. I wonder what his filming process consists of now, like if he has to have oxygen on the set or if he has to like, another cool thing about Al Pacino, he's having a baby. He's having a baby with this beautiful 20-some-year-old. I mean, I wish I had Al Pacino money, dog. Fucking that motherfucker's probably sitting on like hundreds of millions and he's cranking out babies still. Like, okay, like the man's living the life.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, that's our episode, guys. Trouble with the Curve. Again, this is Flicking Off, baby. We link every single movie to the next with an actual link. It has to be an actor, the same camera was used. I don't know, the same catering company, the same, director, producer, cinematographer, whatever the case is, we link it however the fuck we want. And it's your job to figure out what our next movie is. If you can guess it, the only thing that we ask is you be subscribed to the show, you like the video, and then you guess the next movie on the movie that we're doing. If you get it correct, me and Jacob will cash app you $100 of this show's money, and it will be however the fuck you want, just like the link. Me and Jacob this is our second time we've been given ratings. Little caveat, I have just ordered the bookshelf, and I'm going to wait until another week of driving, but then boom, I'm going to have the money for all of
start ordering some of the movies.
I'm going to order all of them, all of the Blu-rays, and we're going to put them behind us. I'm going to put them behind me because I'm jealous that Jacob has a cool background and I don't. But yeah, Flicking Off, baby. If you're not subscribed to the show, you made it this far, bro, hit that subscribe button. We're not going anywhere. Jacob, you got anything else you want to say to the folks before we leave?
No, I don't think so. I think you did it. If you haven't, and you get a chance, go to Apple, leave a review there.
Guys,
like,
if you are subscribed,
all that stuff.
If you are subscribed and you are watching, dude, ask somebody to subscribe, dude. If they're your friend, put your friendship on the line, man. Look, we need all the subscribes we can get, and I'm starting to find out it is the hardest thing to fucking do on YouTube.
Yeah. And if you got questions for us, hit us up with a question. We'll respond. We'll let you know. Even if it's not a movie we can review because we're not linking to it right now, ask us hey, what do you think about, I don't know, E.T.
Yeah, dude, the way this is going, we
Mm-hmm.
might just do it. So if you want us to do a particular movie, comment what you want us to do. We'll certainly talk about it, and it might just be done. Who knows? But that's all the time we got for now, guys. Again, it's Flicking Off. I'm Marc. That's my cousin Jacob. We're fucking reviewing movies every single week right here, 12 a.m. Monday, and we're not going to miss a beat. And we'll see y'all guys next week, man. Love y'all. Peace.